Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Michael Pohl with Bay Area Aquatics, and tonight we're going to be talking about how the Lee's internal box filter is the best filter you can use for your aquarium. Alright, what's up YouTube? I'm Trent Wel-Don with Wel-Don Tanks, and now that we got the other guy out of here who thinks that the box filter is the king of the air-driven filtration, well, we've got to talk about this because I have a different opinion. Alright, so I am trolling Michael a little bit. Michael with Bay Area Aquatics. Me and him are really good friends. And you know, I am going to be leaving a link in the card up in the corner to Michael's video on the box filter. That's what it is, the Lee's box filter. Now, again, I'm trolling him, a little bit of fun, but Michael makes some excellent points, and his video is actually what got me to purchase this box filter, because I want to try it for myself, and I want to kind of do a bit of a face-off. So I personally think that the sponge filter, if we're looking at an air-driven filtration for your aquarium, sponge filter is the best way you can possibly go. But Michael thinks that it's the box filter. So tonight's video, I want to compare the two, give some pros and cons of each one, kind of a breakdown, but we are actually going to test one of these box filters. Now, before you start leaving me comments of this isn't a real test and all these different things, you're right. I have never actually used a box filter before, and tonight's video is kind of the setup on it. I'm going to give you my reasons why I think the sponge filter is superior to the box filter, but then maybe in a couple months I'll be eating those words, maybe in a few weeks or something, some kind of time frame. I may be eating those words because we are going to set up two 10-gallon tanks, one with the box filter, one with the sponge filter, and compare to see kind of how each tank is looking, how the fish are faring. And again, this isn't some crazy scientific thing. This is more of a test that I can do on my level. But let's get started with some of the differences between the box filter and the sponge filter. Alright, so since I'm picking on Mike a little bit tonight and he thinks that the box filter is king, we're going to start here with the box filter. So this is the, where it is, this is the Lee's Triple Flow Small Corner Filter. So it is a relatively small size. Does it say anything about like what it's rated for? It just says it filters up to 45 gallons per hour, which is a weird kind of rating, to be honest with you, just based on the fact of this is going to be air driven. I'm not seeing a real rated for certain size of aquarium, but that's okay. So first things first, pieces go everywhere. This is kind of my annoying factor of the box filter, is right as you open it, if you're not careful, you're gonna lose things. But all right, not a fair point. Let's talk first. Well, actually, that kind of is my point, is I don't like things that have a lot of pieces. I hate tracking pieces down. I don't like things I really have to assemble. So the air stone, I think that's what this thing is. This is the air stone that comes with it. This is garbage, like absolute garbage. I can tell it feels kind of like a felt. So not even real ceramic. So this is gonna clog fairly quickly, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is actually designed to be kind of a one use thrown away kind of a thing. So you use this for a period of time, clean your filter, and actually throw this away. So I really don't want to continue, you know, cost back into this. I think that's one of the biggest scams in the aquarium industry, is like on a hang on the back filter, they want you to buy, you know, the cartridges. I think, so I'm not a fan of that. And then overall, like, I've already lost all the air connection pieces, but looking at them, they're very flimsy, kind of cheap. You would be much better off upgrading to one of like the Ziss Never Clog Air Stones is your actual air stone, and using like the Ziss, you know, premium air valve to make sure you're gonna get the air dialed in correctly. So already I'm not liking that there's numerous parts to this. Now, the stand for this box comes separate, and I already feel like I'm gonna break it. So it actually connects into the bottom, and doing a little bit of research, I've seen people crack these if you push too hard. So It's not bad though. Once that's set up, it's not bad, so it's not going to take up a lot of room. I will say the design purpose of this sitting in the corner of the tank is fairly smart. That will, allow, you're not going to take up much room in the aquarium. So it looks like, oh geez, okay. So now that that snaps back in, so the lift tube is fairly decent, kind of an odd lift tube because your aquarium air stone is actually going to slide down in here, and that's going to cause uplift to come in. So it's going to pull it through the bottom pores and through the filter. Gee, I feel like I'm going to break this stand. I'm not liking that. But now my big issue with the box filter, and again, my opinion, this is just my opinion. I'm not ragging on Michael at all in the sense that he can have his own opinion, and he makes some great points. That's why I'm saying his video actually got me to try this. I know these filters are very popular maybe like 30 years ago, 20 years ago. A lot of live bear fish rooms. If you watch, I think it's Greg Sage. So I've watched some like Aquarium Co-Op videos, and it may be Greg Sage. There's another big name in the hobby that's really big in like breeding rainbows. Got some beautiful stuff going on. And in that tour, he's using a lot of box filters. But here's my number one concern with this. So I purchased this box filter from eBay. Cost me about $10 to get, and that was including like free shipping, so not crazy expensive for an aquarium filter. If you notice though, there is no media included with this filter. Now in some people's minds that's going to be a pro based on you get to choose and design what media you're going to use based on your needs. So you could purchase some sponge, right? Fill this entire thing with sponge. You could purchase some ceramic bio rings, right? Fill this up with bio rings. You could layer some fine filter floss on the bottom of this. You could put some fine, charcoal in this. So you have options of what you want to do in this. That's my point, is you have to provide what media you're going to use for this filter. So they basically took a hang on the back filter, compacted it down to an air driven filter. Now you get to decide what media you want in here. But that's my issue with it, is that's going to add cost. So ceramic rings, really cheap, right? I think Aquarium Co-op has a big bag of them for like $5. You can find bags of them on Amazon, but it's still added cost to the filter. And then now let's talk like maintaining this, right? So already this stand, it feels like it's going to break, so there's a good chance you're going to break that. But I guess you could pull this whole thing out. But now you have to pull the whole thing out. Let's say you put filter floss in the bottom of this. You have to remove this entire thing, open this entire, I hate that stand. Open this up, take it wherever you're gonna go to it, and it's just seems like a lot of work to clean this. So I'm really, really curious to see, as we get this running into a tank, what my cleaning method is gonna be for this. But I say, I'm not liking all the parts that this came with, and I'm not liking that I have to purchase more media for this filter. And I can guarantee you with this initial review, I just made a lot of people angry in this one, but hey, it's my channel, I gotta do what I want. Now let's take a look at what is actually my favorite filter for an aquarium. All right, so for an air-driven filter, I personally think the sponge filter is the best. I think it's king, it's easy to use, you can't go wrong with this, and let me give you my reasons why. This sponge is going to provide your biological filtration, it's going to provide your mechanical filtration. So what do I mean by that? Well, in the box filter, you had to add things like bio rings to get your biological filtration. This sponge is already doing that. In the box filter, you had to add filter floss to get your mechanical filtration, right? The stuff that's going to filter out really fine particles in the water. That's already going to happen with this sponge filter. Now the sponge we are taking a look at is the Aquarium Co-Op Coarse Sponge Filter. This is my absolute favorite sponge filter to use because of this coarse material they're using, and also because the bottom of this is weighted. I've had sponge filters, and if you've used them in the past, like some cheap versions of ones, they're gonna get full of air, they never sink, they're a pain to use. But with this coarse material isn't gonna trap a lot of air, and if it does, you have the weighted base that is immediately going to drop down to the bottom of the tank and you're set to go. Now setting this up, if all you have to do really is connect air line right to the top of this and run the lift tube over this. Done, ready to roll. There's no internal parts you have to take out, nothing you need to do on that. Now, if you want to make this sponge filter run quieter, you have the option of adding an air stone, right? Little bit of piece of air line, connect your air stone to the bottom of the cap. It's gonna run down the center of this, connect everything back up, and you are in business running a quieter air pump, or excuse me, a quieter airstream coming out of this. Now, cleaning this, I personally just will unsnap that top piece, pull the entire thing out, I'm set to go. Some people like to wrap a plastic bag around this, then pull this out, and that way you don't release all the particles back into the water. So you could put a bag around this, slide this entire sponge off, and you're cleaning it. Now, the surface area that this sponge provides next to this box filter, I believe is superior. Now, I'm using, this is the medium sponge filter from Aquarium Co-Op. So it's rated for, they say it's rated for like 20 gallons, right? So I think this is just a perfect all-around size for a little larger tanks that maybe run 2, but you can stick with me here though. Now, people are gonna argue that ceramic media has more surface area. Okay, I'll give you that one. But the fact is, I have to buy ceramic media to add to this. I don't have to buy anything to add to this. This cost me $10 up front. This cost me like $7 or $8 up front. Already cheaper. I have to buy media to put in this. Add an additional $10, so we're like 20 bucks. I don't have to buy anything additional for this on media wise, right? I both need an air pump. One air pump will run both of these. So that's not really an issue. Airline, not really an issue. But, so you kind of see where I'm going with this? You have to buy extra things to make this box filter work. You don't have to buy extra things to make a sponge filter work. So I have been filtering tanks with sponge filters for a long time now, and this is my absolute favorite method of filtration. Especially here in my fish room, I'll be running almost 30 tanks in here. One air pump that Aquarium Co-Op did sponsor me with. They sent me out the new linear piston air pump, and I'm running all sponge filters in these tanks. With the exception, I will be adding this box filter to one of the tanks because I want my own experience, kind of a showdown, to really see which one is superior. But the standing right now, in my opinion, is 100% the sponge filter. So guys, thank you for joining me on this one. I hope I didn't make too many people angry on this one, right? This is good. This is just fun banter, but it's also my personal opinion and the experience that I have from this. So full respect to Michael, especially for letting me kind of poke fun at him a little bit here. If you have not, check out Bay Area Aquatics YouTube channel. Michael does some incredible things over there. He's an incredibly knowledgeable guy that just has a real passion for this, and it just can really break things down in such a way that even for me, that really doesn't like box filters and I've never used one, convinced me to purchase one. So if you are interested in anything we talked about in this video, links will be down in the description. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because we are in full mode of building this fish room. And you're not gonna wanna miss my final conclusion after testing these. So thank you for joining me, guys, and we will see you in the next one.